Hello again, teachers. In a prior module, I showed you how to add assignments and then add grades for each of those assignments by student. This time I'd like to show you a little different way to do grades that may prove to be easier for you in some cases. In this case, let's say, for instance, that yesterday we gave a test to our class. And I am now ready, after grading all the papers, to enter the grades for all my students for that test. This would be a typical way to do that. I would log into the system, and this is the home page. I'm logged in again as John Doe, the teacher, and you will see there the username up here, and I am on test courses, test course 1, which again is where I wanted to be for period 1. So once I've verified that I'm in the right course, I will go to grades to get to the grade book. And I'll select Gradebook and Assignments. Now you remember we created some categories here, and I am going to go to the Tests category, and I'm going to add test number 1. You'll see no assignments were found, meaning we haven't had any tests yet this term, so I'm going to add test number 1. So I'm going to click the plus button, which simply means to add. I'm going to add test number 1, and number of points will be 100 points. Again, you can add an assigned or a due date. In this case, there really was no assigned date, but I'd like to put a due date, and typically you'd like to put the due date in every assignment so that when you print a progress report, it will print the order of those due dates. So in this case, we'll say this was a summer term, so I gave the test, we'll say, on July 1st of 2011. Again, this wasn't necessarily a due date, but it was the date the test was given. And I can do a script description, first test of the term. Okay? So once I've added all that, again, that Save button is always up here in the upper right-hand corner. I'm going to click Save and save that assignment. When the screen refreshes, you should be able to see that test is now added to your page. Here it is. We're highlighted on Tests, and test number 1 is now added. Okay, so that's all we have to do to add that test to the gradebook. Now I want to go enter grades for the kids, for the students in my class. To do this, I'm going to go gradebook, and instead of assignments this time, gradebook grades. Now we've seen this screen before in a prior tutorial, but I want to show you just a little simpler way to be able to enter these grades. So what's going to come up when you click grades is a list of all the students registered in the course. Currently there's just 2, Sally student and her brother Studio student. You may have a list of 15 or 20 students here that will come through in this list. Now rather than open each student individually and add their grade, an even easier way to do this for this test would be to come up here to this drop down window. You can see it defaults to totals. I'm going to click the down arrow, and I'm going to go to Test 1. That's what I just added. Okay? And you'll see now it's going to pull up the entire student list, but this time pull up the screen where I can enter the points. So if I have those tests in front of me, I can pull up Sally students and see that Sally scored a 92%, and I can see that Studio student scored a 98 out of 100. I can add comments again. Any comments that you add here will show up on progress reports, but you may want to say here for Studio student, outstanding score. Great work. Okay? So once you have added the test results and any comments that you want to add, all you have to do is click Save, and those test scores are now saved to the gradebook. Now if you go back here to totals, you're going to see the sum of the points. Sally student is now at 194 out of 210 total points for a 92%, and you'll also see that Studio student is at a 194 out of 210. They must be identical twins. So both of them are carrying a 92% grade. Again, just an easier way to en masse load test results or assignment results if you've graded all of them and want to enter them without pulling up each individual student.